everyone, Christine here. Next week, I am moving from Florida all the way up to Massachusetts. And in my preparations for my moving and in my recent travels, I have realized there were some things that I did not realize exist outside of the state of Florida, or I just kind of stayed ignorant of these things, or I forgot that they do exist. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some of those things that don't really pertain to us here in Florida, and I'm learning about them existing in other places of the country. The first thing is probably obvious that I would know nothing about here in Florida. It is about snow tires, winter tires, chains for your tires, sleeves for your tires. Once in a while you might hear somebody talk about it, but since it has nothing to do with my life and nothing I've ever had to consider on my car, it kind of just went in one ear and out the other. Like, it doesn't pertain to me, I don't need to buy it, and we don't have a winter or snow or ice down here in South Florida, so it doesn't pertain to me. And as now I'm preparing to move up to Massachusetts at the start of the winter, it's something I've had to start looking into. I really don't know what I'm getting myself into with this, and yeah, I'll figure it out as I go. The next thing is about the car window tint. I didn't know there was different laws in different states about how dark your car window tint can be. In Florida, I have kind of said people don't really care down here. Legally, after looking at the chart across the country of what you can have in each different state, Florida does tend to have more lax laws on how dark your tint can be legally. I will say a lot of people around here probably have even darker than the legal limit. I have never heard of anyone getting a tint ticket here or being pulled over for tint. In Florida, the sun is hot, the sun is bright. Tint is really needed for your car. And I understand in some more northern states that might not really be the case, and that's why they can't have it as dark as we have it in Florida. But I didn't really ever think of that until the last few months, that the car tint, the legality of what your tint can be really varies as to what state you're driving in. The next thing is about car inspections. In Florida, we don't have car inspections. You can drive any piece of junk on the road, you just gotta have it registered to the state. Don't quote me on that because I really don't know. But we don't have car inspections, I know that. I never even heard of car inspections until I started getting into travel therapy, and I was reading posts from other travel therapists that would talk about being out of state and their car inspection was due in whatever state their car was registered in and how they can do it, and I just sat there kind of scratching my head like, what are you talking about, a car inspection? And then I started talking to some of my family and friends out of state, and it's actually a thing. In a lot of states, you have to have annual car inspections and you have to pass it. Not in Florida. Until this year, I had no idea that this even existed anywhere. These differences have a lot to do with cars, I can see. The next thing on my list that I have been ignorant of up until now is the whole driving different gears in your car. Where I live, it's flat. I don't have to switch gears. I just go and drive and park and reverse, and that's it. The little extra gear features on my car are just kind of a bonus accessory that is just there to look pretty. I don't use it. I don't know how to use it. It wasn't until like I was driving in Idaho and Wyoming in my rental car, going up mountains and off cliffs, and I finally learned how to switch gears. That's just, you know, a skill I never had and I've never needed down here. It's all flat. The next thing is finally not about cars, but about telephone numbers. In the United States, we have our country code of 1, and then there's usually an area code that's 3 digits and then a 7-digit phone number. A really, really, really long time ago when I was a child, where I live, everyone just had their 7-digit number and that's all you had to dial on the phones. But then where I live in South Florida, our population just blew up and we no longer had just one area code. We then started to get, I think we had 3 area codes, but because we had more than one area code, and I think we have more than 3 area codes now, I don't know. because we started to get more than one area code because our population was so large, we no longer listed phone numbers as a 7-digit phone number. Everything was a 10-digit phone number. The area code was always included in the phone number. And I think this is actually easier because when somebody is from out of town, and let's face it, a lot of people that live down here are not from here. They don't have the local area code. They may never learn it. It doesn't matter. You always have the full number listed and you don't have to care about what the area code is. The whole number is out there for you to know. And sometimes I forget that it's not like this in other parts of the United States. So for example, when I was emailing somebody setting up my housing for my first travel contract, she gave me a phone number and it was a 7-digit number. And I was a little confused because I'm so used to seeing a 10-digit number. And then I realized I had to go look up the area code to this phone number so I could dial the full phone number. Because dialing a 7-digit phone number down here off of my phone is going to get me nowhere. And I really forget that in other parts of the country, the place is not big enough to warrant more than one area code. It's just, I'm no longer used to it. I'm used to a 10-digit phone number. And the fact that probably most of my friends down here are not from down here, and when they give me their cell phone number, they're giving an area code anyways because it's not the local area code. And the last thing was not a recent discovery, and it's more of South Florida versus North Florida, but kind of a little bonus onto this video. I remember 11 years ago when I went away to college up in Gainesville. They have a little bit more hills than we have down here in South Florida where we are at sea level. And my mind was a little bit blown when I walked into a building and it was not the bottom floor. I was still able to go down. That's something that's strange for me. Where I grew up, if you walked in on the first floor, you were on the first floor. There was no going down from there. Living in Florida has left me ignorant to a lot of normal things out there that other people experience and other people know about. And I imagine I'm going to continue to learn what different things there are out there and different ways of life that I just haven't had to experience where I live. And I'm looking forward to learning. If you live in Florida and you've discovered things outside of the state that are different than how they are here, I would love to hear from you. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!